just a disclaimer, if you are a college student, all ears, you can still watch this video and still learn some tips, because I actually did not get a full ride, fun fact, until this year. Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm back. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rhea Simone. If you didn't know, now you know, and you'll never ever forget. So if you noticed, I'm actually in a new location, and I'll get to that in the video of why I'm in this new location and how it actually contributes to the whole topic that I'm going to be talking about today. So today I'm going to be talking about how to get a full ride at Syracuse University and my experience and how I got a full ride at Syracuse University, and just some of my stats that I really don't think matter, but I'll give it to y'all. Some of the things that helped me. If you want to know how I got into Syracuse University, then leave that in the comments below and I'll definitely make a video on that. But I for sure, if you're already in, or just for any school really, it's really important to understand how to get a full ride, because I feel like everything that I did could be used for any other school. So if you want to know how I got a full ride, and even throughout college how I developed this full ride, then keep watching. So first of all, I just want to say that I have no iPad. Like, my iPad's over there. It's okay, but I'm not using it. I'm just coming straight from my dome, because I feel like I just thought of this topic and was like, this is so important, because when I was going through my college career and my high school career, I always wanted to know how to get a full ride. Why is college so expensive? It should not be this expensive. Tuition should not be $80K. I should not be paying $80K a year. That's crazy. And if you're doing that, you're crazy, because there's so much money, especially at these private schools. I go to private school, so at private schools they have so much money to give away and they don't even know what to do with half the money. I swear to you. That's first. If you're going to a public school, state funded, they have mad money. It's coming from the state. So just make sure you understand that these colleges that have money, and don't feel like they're just holding out on you. They literally want to give the money away, so might as well take it, right? Definitely feel like I have to give props to my mom for sure, and my sister, because I probably would have never even known that a full ride was even possible with going to school without them, because my mom was always advocating for us getting all this money, doing scholarships, and scholarships always seemed very mundane at the time. $1,000 here, $500 there, but it really does help and it really does add up. So when your parents are talking about scholarships, or when you see scholarships, make sure you apply for them. Local scholarships, definitely. And this, I'm talking to high schoolers right now, before you go to college, apply for scholarships. I looked at a lot of Black organizations in my city. So we had a Rochester Caribbean organization that gave money every year to college incoming freshmen, so seniors in high school. So they gave like $2,000 or something like that. Then there was sororities, Black sororities, giving away money. I got a scholarship from the SG Rose, Sigma Gamma Sorority Incorporated. Yep. And I got another scholarship from the Ladies of Alpha Kappa Alphas grad chapter in Rochester. So just making sure you really hone in. If you're Black, hone in on these Black organizations. If you're not Black, there's plenty of scholarships out there. I'm sure people always want to give away money to higher education, so just really look out for them. I like to personally apply for local scholarships. I just feel like they're safer. I see a lot of scholarships on Instagram now, so I would definitely take advantage of that if you're an incoming freshman. So it all starts on scholarships, because honestly that adds up, and I made over $10,000 in scholarships, which is really good. I mean, $10,000, that's amazing start to my year. But okay, again, I have to thank both of my parents, my mom and my dad, for starting my college fund when I was young. So they started saving when I was young, and I had over account. So I have to say that part, because that comes into play. But you do not have to use any money. I just made so many mistakes in college, and I had to end up using that savings. But basically they started an account. This is like, I guess, more for parents. They started an account for all of their children, or all three of us, me and my sisters, when we were born, literally before we were born, I guess, because they basically did it through stocks. So it was all investment, so it wasn't like cold hard cash coming in. It was, you know how stocks work, it's basically like that. So I ended up having that much money, so it just kept growing over the years, and that's how we managed that. So So yes, that did definitely help, but I still made $10,000 in scholarships, and it may seem like a lot to do all those scholarships and doing all those essays. I understand it's a lot to do, but once you do a couple, you can start reusing a lot, changing some of the words, and being more efficient with getting all these scholarships done, because I don't remember the number I did, but I just know that I made over $10,000. Okay, so next, I ended up doing a huge scholarship. So I did make $10,000, like cold hard cash, $10,000 in my account, period, and I used it all for school, of course. But I did end up getting a scholarship that was above and beyond. So when I was senior in high school, my teacher sent me this scholarship because I was taking an economics class, and the economics class was actually offered through a program called Junior Achievement of Central New York. But there's junior achievements around the entire country. Basically, any seniors in high school can apply to this scholarship. After I did the interviews, I just kind of brushed it away and was like, whatever, this is a lot of applicants. It's literally not even just my school, it's not even just my county. But because I did so many things during COVID, like starting my business, they really did like that entrepreneurial mindset that I had, and the fact that I started a business in high school was really admirable to them. And I think that's what put me on top. I really didn't ask why they chose me, but I would say just having a lot of extracurriculars is very good for anything, any scholarships, getting into college, it just helps. So through having my business, I'm pretty sure that's why I got the scholarship, and it was a full tuition scholarship to Syracuse. And you might be thinking this is like outlandish, but no, my sister got a literally full tuition and room to go to Virginia State University. A lot of colleges give full tuition scholarships. If you're an athlete, especially track, UAlbany gives scholarships, full rides all the time. I'm telling y'all. I know 2 people who got full rides to UAlbany, one for track, one for basketball, and one was a guy. So it's really just, you have to look, and it's really good to apply to multiple schools so you can see what schools give you what. Because yeah, initially I wanted to go to an HBCU, but y'all gonna give me $10,000. That's it? And that's what I made myself through scholarships? No. So yeah, I ended up saving $50K a year, because tuition at Syracuse is $50K a year, and then room and board is like $25K. So I say 55, 25. Yeah, it's like 55, 25. So it's $80K right there. So my first year, I ended up paying for room. I just didn't pay for tuition, which is a huge chunk of it, because who was paying $80K? Not me. My second year, I lived in apartment style housing, but it was still on campus, and that was a little bit cheaper than living on campus. Then well, it was cheaper than living on campus in a dorm. Then I ended up, my third year, I applied for RA, which every school has an RA position that you can apply for. An RA is just a residential advisor, where you are in charge of an entire floor. You can look more into it if you need any more information, but I applied for a residential advisor, and I actually got the job, but I did not accept the job in time, and they ended up giving it away. So, but we're over that now, because I have another job and I have to do less work. With RA though, because I know every school has an RA program, of course you need RAs at every school if your school has dorms. So make sure you get in touch, make sure you connect with the residential directors at your school and the housing office at your school so that they see your face. So I didn't know this when I actually applied, but there were over 200 applications and only 17 people were accepted to the RA position. It is very competitive. That's why it's so important to advocate for yourself. Emailing people, going to the housing office, talking to the residential directors so that they see your face, and when they see your application, they're like, oh yeah, I know her, or I know him, and he would be a great fit. So make sure you do that. It's really important. So once I didn't get the job because I did not sign that one form in time, I decided to look into other jobs, because it is not okay to just stay in the past, and that's something that I did. But making sure that you just still keep going, because there's always other things. You could be really thinking, okay, full room and a meal plan, that's not going to come around again, but it did. for me. So just making sure you just keep going and keep looking for all these opportunities. I actually ended up finding this program on campus called Inclusive U, which is a program at Syracuse University that aids students with intellectual disabilities and just helps them have a better experience at Syracuse. So for the position that I saw for Inclusive U, they had open positions for residential mentors, and that's actually what I am today. So residential mentor is supposed to be somebody that lives on the same floor as their residents, usually have 1 to 3 residents, and they're just helping the program live out their mission of making this a more enjoyable experience and easier experience for students with intellectual disabilities. So I have 2 students right now. The role that comes with it is meeting with them once a week to just check in, make sure their room is good, make sure they did their laundry, just making sure they're having a good time at Syracuse, getting out there, meeting people, and just having the student experience, just helping them get that student experience. And if they need any help about knowing what to do around campus, you kind of give them those resources. They need any help with their laundry, you help them with their laundry. If they need a reminder to keep their rooms clean, you just give that reminder. So it's quite simple, and I actually met a lot of the students I just really gained such a love for, because they're just so full of joy and funny, and they can be dramatic at times, but who isn't, you know? Who isn't dramatic? Like, I'm dramatic, so we're like one and the same for real. Like, that's really my twin. But no, it's a great program. So you meet with them once a week, you go to dinner with them once a week, and you have office hours once a week. So it's really not that difficult, and it's really actually enjoyable. Like, anything that I do is not for no reason. I feel like for RA, you have to put on events in certain times, and many of the students don't even come. So it's like my work amounted to nothing. I feel like that's what really got to me. Over the summer, I was actually an RA for high school students, and when I was putting on events and nobody came, I was getting so mad. And then I felt like this pressure from the residential directors to like put on events that people come to, like want to see how many people showed up, want to see what you did, how you planned it. And it was just a lot of work ethic for no results, for real. Like, events were fire, but if nobody's coming, who cares, right? So yeah, I feel like this job is really for me. And if you go to Syracuse or are planning to go to Syracuse, you should definitely apply for this position. It's an amazing position, and we are looking to hire. So keep that open mind, because it's free room and free board, free room and board, and you get meals, unlimited meals, and you get 330 dining swipes that you can use at the student center for Dunkin' Donuts, Core Life, Panda Express, etc., 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 period. There's plenty of scholarships when you're in college as well. I know that our chapel, Hendricks Chapel, they get a lot of funding. I don't even know where they get their funding from, but this past year I was just looking through scholarships and I saw that they were giving away $500, and they don't really ask any questions because they don't want to get too personal if you don't want to talk about certain situations, but they just have an interview with you just to see what your situation is, and they don't really say no, because it's kind of crazy to say, okay, your situation's invalid enough to receive this money. But of course, I would never say to take advantage of that. If you actually do not need the money, like it's not a need basis, then don't go for the scholarship. It's really important to make sure that there's money still left for the other people who actually have need base. But genuinely, I just want to say that it's so important to look out for scholarships moving forward, and that's something that I continue to do. So I feel like it all started with my parents, yes, opening the investment account for myself, but then it also was a big thing just to see that it was a possibility to actually get a full ride out of college. Just being open to all schools is really important, and then my private school giving me so much money was such a blessing. It was almost unthought of, because private schools really do not work with the state, so technically they don't really have that much money. But I guess if you are charging people $80K a year, I mean, you got money, babes. If the president of the United States went here, you got money, babes, and they're willing to give it away. So that's just great. But yeah, now I'll give you some of my stats. Not that it matters. Like I said, I'm gonna do another video, and I feel like the stats really don't matter in this case, simply because I graduated during a weird time in the world, like peak of COVID. Not peak, but it was still in the height of COVID, so the stats really don't matter. Nobody was really looking at stats for real. My personal essay wasn't good enough because I got waitlisted, so I feel like y'all really don't need to hear my stats, but I had a 3.7 overall average in high school, which is pretty good if you ask me. Because of COVID, I was taking classes online, so it was much easier for me to take classes online because I had social anxiety and I hated high school and it was really hard for me to focus. Quarantine was honestly a blessing for me, and when they actually offered me the option to come back to school in person, I think it was hybrid at first, so 3 out of 5 days of the week, and then they went all back in person. I said no both times because I was really wanting to just stay home and get my life together. And then I think the last 2 months of school I went back just because I'm like, it's my senior year, enjoy it. And I actually did enjoy the last couple months of school. I didn't take the SATs because colleges were not requiring SATs because it was so hard to get to certain destinations, especially in New York, to take the SATs. So I was blessed with not having to take the SAT, and colleges weren't really caring about that. I think they're starting to bring it back, but I think the SATs are so stupid and they should just leave it out, because I know if I took the SAT I probably would be in the situation I was in because I'm not the best test taker. I'm here to encourage you all just to know that you do not need to get a 4.0 or 4.3 on a 4.0 scale just to get a full ride. You don't have to be this amazing athlete in high school, this superstar athlete, just to get a full ride. No, I mean, it does help. I've known plenty of athletes in my high school that graduated in my class that got full rides for their athletic abilities. So if you have that, hone in on that. And I feel like in anything, it's really important to advocate for yourself. So yes, I was blessed, and I give it all to God at the end of the day. I know I thank so many people for just letting me have this mindset and allowing me to believe that I could actually get a full ride. But honestly, it was God in the end, because like I said, that scholarship that I got was a miracle. I mean, yeah, I have a business, but literally a miracle. And you never think it's going to be you until it is. I'm telling y'all, you never think it's going to be you until it is. The worst that they can do is not give you the money. But at least you tried. At least you can say, okay, at least I tried. Instead of having regrets like, dang, I really should have applied for this scholarship. It's better to know that you at least tried than having regrets like, I wish I did it and now it's over. You will never know. I just wanted to get that out there because it was really on my heart. Like, this is something I've definitely been working towards in my whole college career. And yes, I had tuition free, but I've always wanted to have a full ride. Ever since I saw my sister get a full ride in 2018, I wanted that for myself, and I got it for myself. So I want you to know that it's also very, very possible, and the possibilities are honestly endless. These schools have money. Really up to you whether they give it to you or not. And if you don't get a scholarship, just keep trying. There's plenty of scholarships I didn't get, but just keep trying. Keep trying. It's like a job interview. Sometimes you don't get the job you want or the job you think is best for you. Just keep trying, and there's always another offer at the end of the door. People might deny you of the scholarship, but there's a better one. There's an easier one. There's one that's really gonna help you get your goals, and it's so important. But also, I don't want anybody to feel like it's terrible to be in debt. You do not have to be in debt. Like, yes, I am going to be debt free when I graduate, period, and it's a blessing, and I'm blessed. All these blessings that I have, I don't take it for granted. Not everyone has the same blessings that I have, but you may have other blessings. You may have other things in your life that's helping you get where you get, and you just have to count your blessings. I don't want you to feel the need to compare yourself to other people and compare your blessings to theirs. Hone in on what you do have and make it work for you, and I feel like that's the best way to make it work. Because if I compare myself to my sister who got a full ride off the rip, great test scores, great SAT, and I think her SAT really pushed her to get that full ride, but if I relied on comparing myself to her, I probably wouldn't be in the place I am today, instead of comparing myself to myself, period. Even though some people tried to compare me to her, I wasn't gonna let that happen, because I know I'm on my own road, on my own path, and I have different skills than her, and we're both very talented people in very different ways, and that's fine. And if my sister's watching this, I love you, girl. You're the smartest for real. Like, yeah. If you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you have any more questions, like I said again, you can leave them in the text box below, or you can just DM me on Instagram and I'll do my best to reply. I always reply. I always check my requests. So yeah, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.